Hello, everybody. This is Sascha Segan from PCMag.com. Over here, I have Matt Buzzi, and we want to express our deep disappointment. And Matt, did you watch the whole 2+ hour-long WWDC presentation?
Well, I had it on. Let's say I kept an eye on it.
Okay.
Yeah, as I was looking for any news related to what I do, which is write about computers.
Okay. Yeah, and I have used Mac. I've used Macs for 27 years.
That's a long time.
Okay, I got my first Mac in 1986.
Okay.
It was a Mac SE. It was given to me for my 13th birthday by my grandmother. Okay, and I've used alternately Macs and Windows machines, both Macs and right now I use in the office both Macs and Windows machines. And
you're a multifaceted guy.
Thank you. I think of myself as complex.
Yes.
I'm a complex personality. And earlier this year, I bought a 2015 MacBook Pro.
Sascha,
Yes.
it's 2018.
Right. And the reason I bought a 2015 MacBook Pro was because every MacBook that Apple has produced since 2016 has been awful.
Not great. Not impressive on the updates.
Is it? And so at WWDC, I was really hoping that we would hear or see something reversing the downward trend that we have seen in Apple laptop hardware since 2016, and we saw nothing.
Nothing at all.
Does Apple even acknowledge the fact that there are 3 class action lawsuits right now about this ridiculously awful keyboard?
I don't think they did.
No.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about, okay, so we're going to get, in this little rant, we are going to get to all the problems with the current MacBook lineup that I am on my knees praying for Apple to listen to our pain and to produce some laptops that we actually want to use.
They made their money off the Mac. They made their name on the Mac. And
Yes.
now it's a bit of a second fiddle, which I understand. The iPhone is wildly
I
successful.
know, they're the iPhone company.
We get it.
Yeah.
But people still want and buy and need MacBooks, and they seem hesitant to even be interested in upgrading
Well,
them.
what's funny is that they've been innovating the MacBook in bad ways. Okay, and let's start with
Pick a thing, really.
Yeah, let's start with this keyboard.
Yes.
Okay, this is a 2017 12-inch MacBook with possibly the worst keyboard in laptops today.
And there are people who say, oh, once you spend time with it, you end up liking it, or you end up not minding it, which I feel like isn't really the goal. The design goal of anything. It's like, I learned to put up with it.
I bought a $1,600 laptop and
I've grown to be okay with the keyboard eventually.
I've grown to not hate it today.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree? Do you agree that this is not the greatest keyboard in the laptop world?
It's very bad. It's flat. It has no tactile feedback. It's not that comfortable.
loud.
It's loud. It's somehow loud. You would think getting rid of the travel would diminish the sound, but it somehow made it louder.
Yeah, and now that doesn't even go to the problems that, where did I put that Outline article? So there's this writer for the Outline, Casey Johnston, who found out that if you get a piece of dust into the MacBook keyboard, it becomes non-functional.
And she found that out by having to have her own one repaired, I believe, several times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, so the keyboard, we don't like it.
No.
Step 2. Okay, so Apple is innovating. They're innovating in making keyboards worse. I also remember.
Cutting edge stuff.
Cutting edge. I also remember them making a big deal about this thing, right?
Oh, the touch bar.
Yeah, the touch bar.
Has this not made it into your everyday life?
The touch bar, which is apparently where you put the escape key. That's what escape keys are now.
It replaced the function row / escape key row.
Yeah.
with a bar.
Okay. So do you ever use a touch bar equipped MacBook?
No.
No.
I don't generally use MacBooks for the various reasons we have described. I've always been a Windows guy. I've always kind of side-eyed the OS runs great. It's nice. The hardware's really nice. I've always been a Windows person. I'm a big gamer, so I'm obviously going to want to stick with that.
See, I find So as a MacBook user and as someone who has I had white MacBooks. I had, I had.
You've been there.
Yeah.
You've been through it all.
I've had aluminum MacBooks. I had a black 333 gigahertz G3 Was it even called a MacBook then? What was it called? It was a PowerBook. It was a PowerBook G3. The touch bar is a wonderful space above your keyboard that you do not pay attention to and generally do not use.
Yeah, they put the volume up there, they put the brightness up there. There are some things in some programs that could be useful.
Like, it's a great idea.
You can scrub it to view photos,
but it doesn't really
add functionality, really.
Yeah, it reminds me of things like Apple does this periodically. They come up with like a brilliant new idea that nobody really uses. Like, I don't know if anyone remembers something called OpenDock. If you remember OpenDock, please shout out. But yeah, okay, so Touch Bar or 3D Touch on the iPhone.
Your favorite.
Yes.
RIP 3D Touch.
I was a big fan of 3D Touch. It still exists.
It does.
You may or may not know, but it still exists. Okay, so keyboards, awful. Touch Bar,
oh, it's awful, useless?
good idea.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Extant?
Okay, good, good. Then I tried taking this laptop on a trip. Okay, I've taken this laptop on a couple of trips. And I tried to plug something into it.
Well, there's all the port. Oh.
Yeah.
But what about the.
It has a headphone jack.
It does have a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Those cowards.
Not like the iPhone. Oh my, yeah. The Mac team, so cowardly.
They're so cowardly over on the Mac side. That's why I don't want to acknowledge them during the corporate events. They're a cowardly team.
They're cowards.
They don't want to talk. Yeah.
They're hiding in the back. They're afraid to come out in front
Yep.
because they're cowards who are maintaining the headphone jack but no other ports on their laptops.
Got some USB-C and it's a, let's stress,
Not
a
some.
single USB-C.
A USB-C. And even on their Pro laptops, like this is what? Is it 4
There's
USB-C?
4 of them.
Okay, 4 USB-C.
But there are very thin Windows laptops that manage to fit in.
A micro SD, or an SD
anything,
card slot.
SD, something.
Something. Okay, let's look at some other issues here.
Yes, please.
Let's look at some other issues. I'm looking on this MacBook sales page.
Here on
right?
the Apple.com website.
Right, on the Apple.com we have the another funny thing that I was doing when I was setting these laptops up, by the way. These notifications would come up here. And I kept on going like that.
Oh yeah, no, they do not. They are firm.
Because I'm used to a Windows laptop!
Firmly against the touch
Yeah.
in macOS. Do you think that's ever going to happen? When iOS and macOS eventually integrate, because I think that's going to happen. I think maybe we'll see.
Yeah,
some
it's
touch.
not going to happen until it happens,
Yeah.
and I know it'll happen. 2 years.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people saying 2
2 years, I can
Okay,
believe
so
that.
I'm looking at this $1,600 laptop.
It's a lot.
Yes, and let's discuss this processor they're using.
That is an i5, which again, there are like $1,000 Windows laptops that get you an i7.
Yeah.
Lower clock speed. That it doesn't say which CPU it is, but I'm willing to put a lot of money that's not the most recent generation.
Yes.
I don't even think it's the last generation. It might be the one before.
I don't know.
And that was the big thing in 2017. I went to WWDC last year, and it was like, oh, they're putting the new processors. The new processors in the
year-old
MacBooks finally,
processors.
right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, at WWDC this year, so they made a big deal about how Macs can now use eGPU boxes.
Yes.
And
Which something I just tested with Razer's Core X.
Yeah, and we kind of love eGPU boxes, but the reason that hurts is because even this here, I'm going to call up the really expensive laptop.
Please.
Let's see, where's the really expensive laptop? It's a Mac.
It's definitely a Mac.
It's a MacBook Pro. I'm calling up the 13-inch because the 15-inch is marginally better, and I'm making a point about the 13-inch. Okay, so we have an $1,800 kitted out Touch Bar 13-inch MacBook Pro with Intel Iris Plus graphics.
And only 256 gigabytes of storage.
Yes.
I don't. It's frustrating. It's like I don't know. I don't know what the strategy with them is. They seem to be either content because people are still buying them, or have no reason to upgrade, or they just want to wait for the OS because they love their software so much, and then they'll upgrade. Again, it's a 7th generation processor. It's an i5.
I think they must.
An $1,800 laptop. It's an i5.
I think Apple is making insane margins on this hardware, like margins unlike anything else in the universe, because people love the macOS so much, and they feel so tied to macOS.
They need it for work. They simply can't switch off.
Right. They simply cannot leave the macOS, and so Apple is happy to throw people this. Honestly, these half-assed
out of
laptop
date
builds. Yeah.
If I was reviewing a Windows laptop that was $1,800 and I got 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, not really a graphics card, it would. I mean,
You'd be saying, what's going on
panic,
here?
personally.
What is going on here? So that is what we ask you. That is what we ask Apple. We ask, what is going on here? As someone who has used Macs for 27 years and wants to see Apple laptops that are state-of-the-art, that function as well or better than the Windows laptop that I use at work every day. Apple, what is going on here? Let's do something. Let's do something better. Now, I do want to put a little asterisk at the end of this.
That opinions are opinions.
Which are opinions, and the 2017 MacBook actually has an editor's choice from PCMag, because Tom, who is off in Taiwan right now at Computex, has a very different opinion. But this is my opinion.
Yeah, that's the MacBook. These guys.
Yeah, sorry.
We have several of them, yeah.
Yeah, the MacBook Pro 13-inch 2017, editor's choice. Tom really liked it. He is one of the actual laptop reviewers, not me. So this is my opinion, but it's my opinion as a longtime Mac user and a longtime cross-platform Mac Windows user. Apple needs to get its act together.
And as someone who is reviewing a lot of laptops, including some of the MacBooks and including a lot of Windows laptops, I see comparable things every day in my job that are making it look increasingly silly to be offering these things. And we're going to wait now months for Mojave to come out, and maybe that's when they'll update the hardware, at which point they may again be behind the curve, and then it'll be another several years before they update them again.
Yeah.
And people love their MacBooks. They love their MacBook Airs. I feel like if they updated them and offered new ones at okay price points, they'd also make a killing. But they just seem, I don't know, they seem content with how it is right now.
Okay, so keep it locked to PCMag.com, and we'll keep you updated if there is ever an update to the MacBooks.
Who can say?